Hey everyone, here in the flesh, Ron Hammond with the Blockchain Association. So really good to see a lot of familiar faces here. Obviously not in a suit today because Congress is in recess and my suits are dry cleaning right now. So I appreciate everyone coming by. It's really exciting. There's a lot happening on Capitol Hill. So let's just quickly dive into kind of where the state of play is right now. So we have first off, we got our first crypto bill signed into law very, very recently. It was the IRS broker rule that dated back to the infrastructure bill of 2021. It's been a long, long fight. So to see that culminated into a bipartisan vote of 2/3 of Congress supporting this and getting to the president's desk on a CRA, let alone a CRA of a treasury rule, is pretty groundbreaking on a number of fronts. So it's really exciting to see that huge base of support, because we're going to need it for the next round, which is going to be stablecoins. We have the Stable Act in the House that passed the committee. It's currently waiting for a House vote. We have the Genius Act that's waiting for a vote in the Senate on the Senate floor. Timing for those can be pretty soon, or it could be a little bit longer. It really depends on a lot of the macro stuff that's happening right now in DC. We're going to have a lot of discussions on reconciliation, the budget for the next couple of weeks in Congress and in May. And so there's a chance that this really does push off those stablecoin bills to maybe more of a June timeframe, but they're still figuring out the schedule right now, it seems. So we could see stablecoins, and we probably will see a move likely mid to late May. But what's going to have to happen is once the House votes on their version, the Stable Act, and the Senate votes on their version, the Genius Act, they are different. So they're going to have to combine those two bills together, vote on it again, which will be the Stable Genius Act. There's been a lot of calls about maybe doing a one bill approach because market structure is just right behind it. We already had a couple of hearings happening in the House. And it seems like we're going to get a draft pretty soon. It could be anywhere from potentially as early as next week we might see something to maybe end of May we'll maybe see something. There's a lot of, I'm talking to various folks here, and it's still unclear when they're going to be ready for prime time, but they're close. So while the stablecoin bill, we're waiting for those time to have a vote on it on the floor. In the meantime, the committee is going to be working on market structure. So that's a big bill that everyone wants to talk about. Securities laws, commodities law, where's the SEC jurisdiction end? Where does the CFTC jurisdiction begin? Where does custody rules look like? All these huge things are huge questions that a lot of folks have. The only thing that we really know solidly is that it's going to be different than FIT 21, but it's going to be subject for a lot more hearings and a lot more debate. So get really excited because it's going to be really dense in the weed topics when we come to market structure. And again, likely May and June we'll really see that ramp up. And so the upside is that we have a lot of bills that are moving forward, and it does have the impetus of the president really encouraging this to happen. He wants a bill signed to his desk before August 1st. And so would that be market structure? It's hard to see at this stage. However, there is the potential they could get this done in time. Stablecoins seem like the more likely candidate. And again, there have been some articles out there saying, maybe we should just do one big bill and have everything, including market structure and stablecoins in there. I'm sure that's one of the tactics, but we do have another year and a half of this Congress, so we do have time if we don't get to it right now immediately. So overall, it's really, really exciting, at least on the congressional front, but expect a lot more action in the time, and we're going to be waiting, hopefully, for floor time to free up to get a lot of these necessary bills done. So stand by. It's going to get really busy really soon. On the other end, though, let's look at the agencies. The SEC is having more roundtables this week. They're going to have theirs on custody, and that's really exciting. We're seeing a lot of conversations about that, and be really important, especially for the legislation being in the works right now. Additionally, on top of that, we had the CFTC came out with some request for information. That was a more on perpetual trading. That happened on Monday, but the turnaround time is 1 month, and so it's a very kind of a unique topic within crypto, especially for more firms on the trading side of things and 24-hour trading. And so I would look to the CFTC getting a lot more involved here and really, more put in your face to name here when it goes to engaging the CFTC. Because a lot of folks think about the SEC in Congress, but we don't really think about the CFTC, and that's going to be really crucial, especially with this market structure bill coming along. And then overall, besides that, we do have a couple more potential reports coming out from the administration. They do have a timeline that usually ends, I believe it's the last week of July is when their last report is technically due by. And then that's when we're going to probably see not the end of the task force effort, at least within the White House, but we'll see probably the end of their reports and then more focusing on moving the last remaining bills through Congress. And they've been doing a really, really good job, in my opinion, at least bringing that coordinating effort because there's so many players, as we all know, through the agencies in Congress. But overall, it's all really positive. It's going to get really, really busy, but that's what we're here for, the Blockchain Association. So if you have any questions on any of this stuff, I'm always happy to chat. And you can always ping me on Twitter, Ron W. Hammond, or ron@theblockchainassociation.org, and I'm always happy to chat. So thanks, guys. Just get ready for a lot of fun soon.